transfer you 60-some thousand. But he started by saying he had to keep a young black woman. So it's true. It might be, but I don't think so. I mean, if I had to put a bet on it, I would bet there's no truth to that whatsoever. Or if there's a little bit of truth to it, it's not really the obstacle that they're presenting to it. Yeah, she actually used, somebody saying she used the word trashed. He trashed the system. I wonder if you looked into it, you would find that he had trashed the system. All right, here's an interesting thing that happened. I've told you before that the phrase Black Lives Matter is brilliant persuasion. And you know why. Because if anybody tries to push back on it, it sounds like you're saying Black lives don't matter. And there's no way you're going to get away with that, right? So it was sort of this bulletproof thing. And we saw all the people who would fall into the trap. They'd say, do you think Black lives matter? Yes, yes, I do. And not only do I think Black lives matter, but I also think all canceled. You're canceled. And you're thinking, wait a minute, why am I canceled? I just agreed with you. Black lives matter, but I'm even more liberal than that because I'm saying other people matter. Like, how about other people? Ho, 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 nice try, racist, saying other people matter and other brown people matter. You just said black people don't matter. No, that's the opposite of what I just said. I said they totally matter and other people are important too. That's a white supremacist if I ever saw one, right? So in terms of persuasion, it was brilliant because it just shut down the other side. But do you think there's a high ground that can get above Black Lives Matter? Do you think that anybody with any amount of persuasion ability could high ground that? Meaning say something that everybody would recognize is either more important or more true than this thing, which is also deeply important and deeply true. Black Lives Matter. Is there anything above that? Well, honestly, I thought no. But it turns out that there's a young woman named Denisha Meriwether, who's the founder of, I think the group is Black Minds Matter. Black Minds Matter. And I guess the emphasis is going to be on school choice. It's pretty good, isn't it? Black Minds Matter. I'll give you two choices. Black Lives Matter or Black Minds Matter. It's good. It's good. And it's also coming from a young black woman, so it's going to carry, different credibility than if it came from me, for example. And she's going after teachers' unions. Here's how I plan to help. My first question is this. Was this luck? Because, as a trained persuader, when I see this, I just stop. And I go, okay, this is a pretty young person behind this. Is there somebody behind the young person? Because remember when AOC was making a big splash early on, and people were saying, oh, she's got this mentor who's really the power behind her. Now, which I always thought was unfair, by the way. I mean, I'm sure he had some influence, but I think that was unfair. But when I see somebody do this being finding something that's this powerful as a persuasion starting point, I wonder, did this come from somebody this young? Because you'd have to be pretty experienced to intentionally come up with something that almost looked impossible to me. Find a higher high ground than Black Lives Matter that even black people would say, yeah, that's better. That's pretty good. So when you see this, you got to ask, is it an accident? If it's not an accident, there's a new force to be reckoned with that we don't quite understand, and we might see more of it. Here's what I'd like to add, and I tweeted this today, I think, that teachers' unions are the main source of gun violence. What